What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for Comics Unmasked, the podcast where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back for what, episode 13?
13, yes,
we
sir.
are cooking. The fact that we got so many episodes out over the past like 2 months has been insane. We are so thankful for y'all checking out the show. Don't forget that you can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music and Audible, iHeartRadio, all those places. Wherever you can listen to a podcast, you can pull up on us. I used to have a running joke on the old show where I used to say, like, except for SoundCloud, because SoundCloud's expensive and bullshit. But anywhere you can listen to us, we got you. Don't you worry. We will be here for you, folks. Don't forget that you can follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, yeah, all those places.
Yes, sir,
like,
yes, sir.
We're definitely gonna. The main topic this evening is actually gonna involve TikTok drama, but we will be omitting all names because we ain't got time for that drama. But the topic is still important, so make sure that you stick around for the main topic of the evening. Make sure that you're like reviewing the show on Spotify and Apple because it boosts us in the algorithm. Give us 5 stars, help us out. As a major thing that helps us grow and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the nonsense. My name is JP. To my left, we have the man who works at the weed store by the day and plays the weed store at night on the video games.
He's still on that grind.
Right, like I saw the playable on the show and I was like, damn, man, he be on that schedule one. B-Rex, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm making money outside of work. I'm making money inside of work. I'm posting to TikTok, and I'm getting everybody mad at me for bringing up Stan Lee. So it's been wild. It's been a good week for me.
Man, no, we gotta talk about that. You raised a lot of problems with that. Like, we'll have to get into that in a minute. But like, you had people coming for your throat over that shit.
Me.
But then we have the lady with the cat ears dropping YouTube videos now. Make sure you check out Astro's YouTube channel. Astro, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing so good. I gotta keep it consistent because if you watch my YouTube video, you'll see all of my ears on display. So this is my consistency. Meow.
Okay. And then we have our special guest. Man is out here dropping the takes on the TikTok out here. It is great seeing him constantly talking about books out here in the streets. Enlighten one, how you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing, a little nervous, but it's good to just talk to people with like the same interest.
There you go, man. We will have his links in the description. Make sure you check out his TikTok and whatnot. But we're going to go ahead and dive into the mix. First topic of the evening. We want to make sure we're giving love to indie books, folks. And if you not have checked out Ghost Machine from Jeff Johns and all of his friends over at Image, it's a brand new imprint, brand new company. The past like a year and a half, they've been pushing out new content. Like, the books have been phenomenal. I started reading the book we're going to talk about, but also Geiger last night. Like, these books are giving fresh interest into the medium. They're giving the fresh interest into things. It feels so good to read titles that are not bogged down by so much history and lore that you need to grind and get into. And it's so refreshing. So, like, definitely go check out, like, talk to your local comic book shop about, like, the Ghost Machine imprint. But Red Coat from Jeff Johns is officially getting made into a movie.
So cool. That's such cool news.
Like, if you don't, like, if you haven't checked out the book, elevator pitch is like, what if a dude found out that the founding fathers were using Indian magics to like do crazy things and keep themselves alive, and that's how they won the Revolutionary War. And right as Benjamin Franklin is about to gain immortality, dude happens to walk in and steal it on accident, so he's just immortal now, and he's just bumming through time, drinking and being an assassin for hire. And then out of nowhere, all the cultists show up and try to kill him. And it's like, oh, we got to do this all over again. So it's very much a fun read.
It's outrageous. It's funny. It does have some, I think, really cool kind of like jabs at the colonization of it all, and the draining of indigenous resources, and kind of, you know, what happens ultimately to some people, and what fantastically can happen when you just, I don't know, fuck with things that you don't respect. Ooh.
The plot within itself sounds like a conspiracy theory in a way.
Yeah.
I'm just that's why I'm kind of interested, because I've seen it at like my local LCS, and I'm like, I don't know, should I pick that up? But mine, like, hearing this just has me excited for it now.
And especially when like you're reading it and you find out like, oh, Albert Einstein has a child pulled up and is trying to like be your like your fun kid sidekick. This is interesting. Oh, Benedict Arnold's here now. This is getting conflicted. Oh, George Washington might be the big bad. It's like, oh, this is very
It does
If you were
such
into
good things
Assassin's
of
Creed
giving you
3.
fun tropes.
Oh, Assassin's Creed 3 was amazing.
Yep.
That's what
There
I was
you
gonna
go.
say. Like
It
when I
gives you
first read it,
such
I'm like,
fun things.
AC3 DLC, please give it to me. I would love that.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting premise.
But
Like,
yeah,
so I
it
definitely
gives
feel
you
like it's
such
worth
fun
checking
things to
out
play
for
with in
sure.
the first issue. Definitely
Right.
great. Everything that they give you is like normal tropes that you think are going to be put on their head as like normal things you're going to be going with, and then he flips them immediately with everything that he throws in there. I was stunned. I was one issue in, and I'm like, I'm definitely going to be picking this up. I'm definitely going to be reading more of this.
A movie's gonna be insanity, like
Especially
actual insanity.
Like there's a moment where like they kind of hint at, oh, maybe Johnny Appleseed actually had a thing going on there, and then just giant apple tree breaks through a mansion, and you're like, what? It's such an interesting premise. I love and the fact that this is getting a movie. Oh, all day. All day.
No, it's going to be crazy.
Yes.
And I like Sign of the Times. I think that now is the movie that we need some fantastical founding fathers. To like maybe poke fun of them just like the tiniest bit.
Yes.
How would y'all like describe the tone? Is it like gritty, dark?
It's gritty and funny. It's kind of like one of those things that it's very aware of the situation it's in, but it's so heightened ridiculous that it's like you don't know
like it
what
gets where
you can
what's supposed to be. It very much understands what it is, especially because like you're so used to the art, you're used to the idea of like this team coming in because you've seen
and that's just
Brian Hitch's work. You've seen Brian Hitch put stories together and make like some of my favorite comics of all time has been Brian Hitch art. So like seeing the way Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch bounce off each other for this book, because if you read Redcoat, it feels like a good balance of like funny and like grim dark ideas and kind of playing with the dark history of America. But then you read Geiger, which is one of the other books that they're doing. It's Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, and it feels like you're just reading like post-apocalyptic doomsday clock, and you're like, oh, all right, let's do it. And it's very interesting the way they're bending these new interesting stories.
I just love how people could just play on history.
Yeah, most definitely.
That too. I feel like we need a more fantasy-esque style to our American history for some things because everybody takes it so seriously. So it's kind of nice to.
Well, we just had the
take it easy back.
No, exactly, because we just had the fucking conversation last episode of the Assassin's Creed game we can never have anymore.
I felt like they should have stopped it at 3, honestly.
Really? Why?
Because it's just like it was just like my thing. It was just like the perfect.
This was fun.
No, because like he has a point though. Because like when you have the Desmond narrative, I can see why you'd want to. That's why I even said last week with the Titan comics, I stopped fucking with it after Origins because the Titan comics revealed they resolved the Juno plot. So I was like, so I could see where someone would be like kind of done when you pull off a Desmond because you get to 4 and there's just nobody there as the protagonist. You're the protagonist. They do the same thing for Unity and Rogue.
And then I think we should be all nicer to Edward Kenway, but this isn't an Assassin's Creed. Oh my gosh!
It was just like a whole money grab of time when I sat there and thought about it.
I'm just saying, man, your actions caused your child to be a Templar. I'm just saying, brother.
And no one's debating that or saying that's not true. I just like pirates.
You just like problematic white boys is your problem. She got called out the streets.
Shots
We're literally
fired.
moving on.
All right, yo, let's go ahead and dig into this. So the big reason why I wanted Mans on here was the fact that like we had the awesome interview and now we're here. It's been a week. Batman Static Beyond #1 has officially dropped, and I definitely wanted to highlight it here. And we're gonna like talk about it when we get to the main topic as well. But genuinely, this book, holy shit! I was so thankful reading this. Nicholas Draper Ivy's art is phenomenal. I love the topic. I love the fact that they're not afraid to talk about the the over excessive use of technology in our everyday life. It's very topical, and they really visit the concepts that Terry McGinnis would have to deal with this real world, and just
Right.
oh, mm, like I genuinely loved reading this so much, fam. Like Kyle, I need to know what you think about this book, like for real.
It was just one of those things where like I was intrigued about the concept of them taking, how can I put this? Goddamn. It was damn, my bad. I'm a little nervous, my
No,
bad.
no, that's cool, man. We'll come back to you. What
Okay.
we do? I'm about to
Yeah.
say, like Astro. How did you feel
I
about
just
this?
think, listen, at the end of the day, I really loved the characterization and I thought it was a perfect setup, kind of, to like the adventure we're gonna go on. I think it was a really good first issue because at the end of the day, a first issue needs to talk about what it needs to talk about. But I do think there was a good balance between the two, and even just diving into the backstory into the present day and why we need to like be where we are right now, showing the kind of synergy that will and can progress. I'm excited. It was fun. And the art, it was just, I don't know. It was really fun.
There you
I'll
go. Okay,
jump onto
okay.
the artwork real quickly because when I was going through it and reading it, it really just took me to the Batman Beyond TV show, and I just felt like
Yes.
I was just seeing
Yeah.
like a behind the scenes episode almost. It felt like something extended on in that universe that was already placed there. It didn't feel misplaced out of anything. It was just so
Yes.
Oh,
perfectly
Especially when like you
placed.
read the lines
I
from
love that
Max
thought.
and
I love
Terry.
looking at that
Yeah.
Yes.
perspective actually of like kind of for a Terry, this is almost right where we left off with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is kind of the vibe that I was getting. And like I said, like that was like the exposition we kind of needed, but it also like B said like, ooh, we're if this is a 45-minute special, this was our good like 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Our
I
starting
was
15.
I was really intrigued by why like the Earth needs to join this overall like allegiance with other like planets. That really kind of threw me off in a sense.
Very much so, very much, and it just like it adds an
Right.
interesting dynamic because you see that like because that was one thing that I wondered is like how are they going to blend more of Static now that
Yeah.
we've been more comfortable with the idea of involving all of Milestone into DC, because
Hmm.
that's what I loved about the Young Justice cartoon was they made sure Icon was there, they made sure Rocket and Hardware were there along with Static, so making sure that we blended more of that into the animated universe ideas, and we're like, yeah, Icon's there. And yeah, he did kind of like relive an entire childhood to
Right.
adulthood, growing up inside the Augustus would have an interesting perspective on like the idea of the cooperative coming in and doing all that stuff. So but when Superman's kind of trepidatious, I'm like, let Icon do this. It's okay, Clark, calm
Yeah.
down. Like I like that a lot.
It was good. It was solid. And I'm just, how many issues is progress
Is it
for
six?
this?
I think
I
it's
believe it's
6?
six.
5,
Yeah,
I
we're getting
thought.
to
Oh,
six.
It's 6?
Is it?
Ooh, that
Let
makes
me
me
see.
super
Let me
happy.
see.
That makes me super happy if
Then
it's
then
6
12.
like what
because
I
I thought it
that
was
said
is
of
a
like
12.
the
good even number.
45-minute episode, we're in the first 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Very
now I'm
much
even
so.
more excited.
It's 6 issues.
And then
Yeah.
another
So
touch
in
I was
terms of
just thinking
pacing, I
about.
think we're right where we need to be.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
another
genuinely
touch
intrigued.
that I
Like, well,
think
how is like the
is
Earth dying? Oh, my bad.
exact. No,
Go
no,
ahead,
go
my
ahead.
bad.
You're the guest. Go for it. No.
I was just really intrigued about like how is like the Earth dying in a sense where they need to join them.
I think it's less about that. I think it was more
Mhm.
of the fact that
Mhm.
like they don't respect the Earth as a concept
Mm-hmm.
because like they are so primitive to the fact that like the cooperative's been doing this stuff for years. They know more
Right.
about the idea of these different planets, different ideals coming together. It reminds me of when like during the Legion of Superheroes back in the day, where like Earth was always the last one to join the League of Planets and whatnot. So the idea that like Earthlings and Americans and like kind of like the idea of we don't know if we are okay with aliens, and that enters the conversation
Right.
on a greater scale. The fact they kind of have to audition because they don't want to deal with your nonsense. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed that premise.
It really just showed how like
uh,
humans can be
yeah,
like shitty people in a sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, most
Yeah.
exactly.
definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
hmm One thing I also wanted to add on too was the writing that they had when they were talking about starting the ship and everything throughout the series, and it was like I can hear Static's voice having that tremble in it. He's a little nervous and everything. I love that because it still shows the connection that we have to the root version of Static we had at the very beginning, who's this little cocky kid who wants to be, you know, up there with the big stars and stuff like that. This is his big opportunity to show something that's there, and it's still going to show that human take of Static. And just short few little panels, it just shows how good the writing for this is going to be further on in the next, hopefully, you know, 45 minutes that we get.
No, like you were saying, like that kind of like anticipation, but also like fear of like, well, here it is. Whoa. No, but like you were saying, like at least with the trajectory of Static as a hero, like even you just saying like, oh, this is his time now, like, oh,
Yeah.
So do y'all feel like he gonna take a front seat instead of like Terry in this series?
I feel like it's going to be a balancing act because, like Evan kind of talked about in the interview, that like he wants to give like credence and respect to both universes because he wants to, like, he has a love and a passion for both the animated series of Static, but also for like Terry, and it's gonna be a tightrope. It's gonna be this balance of trying to show that what happens when dude kind of like drains the power grid and like Static has to rebalance his dynamic and what he contributes, because the Q juice was a big topic in the revival of Milestone. But then it's also like, how does Terry rise to the occasion, having to be a younger hero in this environment, having to sort of help out the older generation in a sense, because like Static's 35 is the idea of saying like, hey, I can help you even though I have a different perspective. So it definitely will be sort of familiar to what we've seen, because there was that like the like different dynamics of, oh, they're not like hero and sidekick, they're hero and hero just like on different levels. So it's gonna be a tightrope for them to balance.
Excited to see.
Yeah, most definitely. So, like, we'll definitely be keeping up with the issues and whatnot. We'll probably like do a wrap up once all 6 issues are out, but we'll definitely like keep mentioning it on the pull list and whatnot each week. But from there, in lieu of the fact that we are getting the next chapter of the continuation of the Marvel DC team ups, because the Batman slash Deadpool comes out this week, because we just had Deadpool slash Batman previously. That comes out this week. We found out that Marvel and DC just sort of like dropped 2 extra little digital free books for everybody. They had Flash, Fantastic Four, and they had Thor, Shazam that dropped, and they specifically were designed as these like scrollable books, because DC Go and Marvel Unlimited Infinity Comics, they've been doing these like interesting scrollable comics as a way to like sort of like cater to the young generation who have Doom Skull.
So Zoomer.
It's a very interesting concept. Like they've been doing the Marvel Rivals books in print, and they've been doing the Jeff the Shark books in print. So they'll definitely rebalance it and put it out at some point, but I don't know when. That's the thing.
They need to. I need the variants.
You need the variants, okay. Honestly, like Thor Shazam from like Jeff Johns would go real hard. Oh my god. Not Jeff Johns, Alex Ross. I apologize. That's not, like the idea of like an Alex Ross Shazam and Thor cover would go real hard. I can see that going really well. Like just the lightning everywhere. Like, oh my god.
The general reaction is just seeing Thor interact with a child who also has a godlike power. I just find like the dialogue to be something I really want to see.
Well, like they kind of balance that in the issue, and like when you're reading it's an interesting dynamic because they explore the idea of like it being Donald Blake and Billy Batson, and they have to sort of like share the lightning, because when
I thought that was cool.
when Donald turns into Thor, Billy goes back to being Billy, and they like vice versa, and it's an interesting dynamic. But Marvel, DC, holla at me for a quick second. Why is it that after all these years? We finally get a Marvel DC team up, and now you're okay with Billy being called Captain Marvel again? Because if you read the first 3 pages, like the wizard calls him Captain Marvel.
Let's truce.
Like
that's okay.
Like sign a licensing deal. Sign it. Sign a licensing deal.
This isn't our comic book.
Move on. Like, honestly,
They're
though,
not
because like
gonna
it's on
do
Marvel
that, JP,
Unlimited.
because they canceled Shazam. So
Yes.
there's no Captain Marvel anywhere. So that's why.
It's-
No
Marvel was
Captain
like,
Marvel
here
or
you go.
Marvel.
Here you go.
I just like I
Marvel
want
was
to
like, we're gonna
understand.
stick our
I
name
want
in there as many times as possible just to rub the salt in for you guys. That's
I
what
think
we're
they
gonna
think
do, just so
I think they
this is
think
the
it
one
funny.
comic book it will be referred to, and then everywhere else it's
I
gonna be
think
right
they
back to
think it's
Shazam.
Well, like
It's
what's
so
so funny
good.
about it is like you even saw it in the DCKO first issue, like and they also put it in the new history of the DC universe. Well, Mark Waid and everyone's been calling him the Captain now, and I'm like,
I
no,
The Captain.
stop
hate
Just
it.
call him
it
Shazam. That don't make no
bad.
sense.
I hate it bad, and I would rather Shazam.
Well, because like
Either
I get it, like
Shazam
that's
or
the thing that
Captain
he
Marvel.
says. I get it, but like maybe call the book Shazam and then have him be called Captain Marvel in universe inside a licensing deal. Maybe something
Or
I
just
don't know.
Captain.
I just
The
I like
Captain's
that.
crazy.
keep it Shazam. I don't feel like he needs to be called Captain Marvel.
Like, we're changing it too much, and the book's already
Yeah.
canceled.
It's so interesting. Like
Like,
I want to understand whose idea it was. Like I see what you're doing, but like can
I don't
you
see it.
I really wish it could have been different. Like why did it have to be like that? But we'll have to definitely see what becomes of it. The book is a
That
fun
was
read.
silly, but I had genuinely like no notes when it came to the Fantastic Four Flash
Oh
team up. I
yes.
think towards the end too,
That sounds
seeing both
amazing.
families, that was so
Yes.
just through like the speed force and the time continuum of it all, like for everyone and all the Flashes to show up and the Fantastic Four, like all of it was just so cool. And the ending of Flash and Mr. Fantastic, I thought it was very cute. And I don't know,
Yes.
I think these two freebies really spoke to really crucial aspects, I think, of these specific sets of
Mhm.
characters. Like when it
Yes.
comes to family in terms of Fantastic Four and the Flash,
Mhm.
and when it comes to kind of the seeking of knowledge, but also trying to keep a bit of like youth and whimsy when it comes to a Captain
Yes.
Marvel and a Thor. So I don't know, for something that is just kind of unannounced, just like, here, have this, not really expecting it, I am surprised by the quality of it.
Most
So if you have the
definitely.
time to catch it, it's free. Go read it.
It's
And like
free.
Where's it on? Where's it
It's,
on?
they're
they're
designed to be quick.
So quick flash, but like the Flash Fantastic Four book is on DC Infinite.
Okay.
The Thor Shazam book is on Marvel Unlimited, and they're both
Damn.
free. You just gotta have an account. Just check it out. And they're super cool. And
I
like
gotta restart mine because I don't know, like just to see that interaction between like Reed Richards and the Speed Force, I just see him just going
It
down this
was
rabbit hole, and that really just
cool.
has me interested at that point.
Well, like, and what's so funny about it is like this is what I be talking about when some people get like because I was talking about this on a live the one day where some people were kind of like fighting my whole thing of like I wish Barry Allen was still dead because I hate how much like all of Wally's qualities and characteristics have been shoved down Barry's throat for
Right.
modern Barry. But then you
Mm.
look at this and you see Reed and Barry being intellectuals. I enjoy the idea
Yeah.
of Barry being an intellectual and being like that scientist vibe. I like when Barry gets to be Silver Age Barry, gets to be that intellectual who isn't just quipping all the time, who isn't just trying to
No,
be
and that
Michael
was
Rosenbaum like
fun.
in a new skin. I enjoy that version of Barry more. Like, let Wally be Wally, let Barry be Barry. And it's just this, like, that's why I don't, that's why I have a lot of issues with the CW Flash, because it's like, you can let him be
Right.
an intellectual and quip occasionally, but when
Yeah.
you take him away from that dynamic and make him different and just make him Wally light, it annoys me. Like, it takes away
Wally
from the
light.
difference of these different Flashes.
No, you're right.
I don't know, when it came to the CW, I
100%.
had to stop watching it.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
It was well, my
How
thing,
far did you get?
because
Honestly.
here's my thing was is like I'm very big on story, and I felt like it having like a 22 episode was just a little bit too much, and I felt like they could have condensed it down to like 10 to 13 and really focus on the character and the
No, you're
villain
so
Mm.
real.
and the villain. Therefore, you could really like it could really blossom. Whereas you got like granted you got these one-off villains in a sense, but it's like okay, like how does this add to the story? I'm ready to get back to like how he's gonna take down the Thinker or Reverse
Mm.
Flash.
It's so like, and I hear you because, baby, I am a Gotham Fox fan.
Ooh,
And I
ooh,
I could.
feel like some things are just built to laugh at me all you want me. I was queer baited by that Riddler and Penguin relationship, and
oh, you
it
poor
did.
thing. Oh
Yeah, no,
Oh
no.
yeah.
it did psychic damage to me. So much so that I inadvertently came out to my family because of
You need to
how
roll that
obsessed I
D10. I
was
need to see
with
that
them.
psychic damage on the board.
It was awful.
I couldn't
It
get with
was
it.
awful. But there's like a pattern there where it's like we want to strengthen our characters by kind of doing this almost sitcom-y, like one episode villain type of
Mhm.
deal. But what happens is that it doesn't feel like a comic book. We
Uh-huh.
just kind
Mm.
of get like stagnated into like the villain of the week story. And like, yeah, that worked when it was like Saturday morning
Mm.
cartoons, but
Yes.
not my
Exactly.
CW drama.
Mm-mm.
Yep,
It's
yep.
very interesting. I see what you're throwing down for sure about that. So like those were the like the like sort of like the news based topics and the review based topics we want to get to, but let's dig into the meat and potatoes here, children,
Oh, brother.
because oh my lord,
Oh,
I
brother.
should have grabbed my sake for this.
I'm
because
crying
TikTok
that I
was
gotta sit
ablaze
down.
with the drama this past week. And again, we are not going to like divulge into like who's who and whatnot. Like the topic
No, because there's
overall.
no point, because it's one of those things that these talking points, if you're not new to this game, these talking points come about like every 4 months, every 5 months
I'm
or
starting to
so. It's
notice.
inevitable.
I'm starting to notice how like as I get deeper into comic talk, because it'll just pop up with just some random day, and I'm just like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, especially when like
Yep.
because I remember the last time like this came up, like a very polarizing figure like brought it up, and it was like really. Really,
Right.
but like now it's being brought up again, and now everyone's picking sides, and it's just annoying. But no, like folks, we're talking.
We're losing grip on something here
Yes, and
in this
the
conversation.
thing that we're going to talk about today is piracy, folks. Comic book piracy is the main topic of the day, and it is a very divisive topic. It's a very interesting topic because there's so many facets, so many different layers of it, and at the core that I will begin with this is the shit's illegal. It sucks, but you're doing something that is really scummy. And I want to nip the thing before we dive too much into the weeds of it all. Is the straw man argument that I keep hearing a lot of people say is, "Oh, I don't care about the corporations." Yo, hold
You
up.
should support the corporations. How do you expect to get your comment?
Well,
That's the thing.
there's that, but it's also a matter of like you. I even kind of said in my one video where I talked about, I was like, look, I don't really give a fuck if you pirate Batman. Like, I'm not gonna look at you sideways because Batman's never not going to be published. Batman is never not going to be published. Spider-Man's not ever going to be published. Is it
Right.
scummy?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it rough? Yes.
But it's
like,
also a different conversation in terms of the big two and what's on
Yes.
payroll and who is getting paid exactly.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that this conversation always annoys me because there's so much layered nuance here, unfortunately, and there's so many different perspectives you can have, and the ones that we can give you right now come from an American point of view.
Ooh, yes.
And it's like specifically. And it's one of those things that we are in a very weird financial time where art is seen right now as luxury in a way, and it is not very much accessible in the way that it needs to be because certain people don't want it to be accessible, whatever. And so when it comes to the conversation of piracy, a lot of the time when you see takes and stuff like that, I feel like we are primarily talking about the big two most of the time.
Yeah.
Because there's a different morality kind of trigger that occurs when we say the word indie, even if it's a quote unquote bigger indie company like a Boom Studios or something like that. We still view indie and its sales differently. And I also have a problem with that because it's like we still don't really know like how those the people speaking on this don't really know how like those indie sales work still, and how like that
Yes.
works in distributing and how that works and all that stuff. And you're to your point, JP, of like you can do that with Batman comics and stuff like that. And we were just talking about in an episode before of Green Arrow being canceled
Yes.
because the sales weren't there. So
Hmm.
it's a conversation of if you don't have moral standing on it, which I can absolutely understand. I have a little bit more of a Gen Z take on it. It comes down to a matter of, okay, well, these companies care about the sales and the numbers.
Mm.
So if they don't have the sales and the numbers, then your story might not continue.
Most definitely.
Yes. One thing
Is
I'd
where
like
I
to add
die most of the
on.
time.
There you go. One thing that I like to add on as our American perspective is that we're a capitalistic nation. And so one of the things is that we
True.
move money across a whole bunch of different things, and we're supposed to have money move from one thing to another thing. Now, everything else aside, when it comes to rich people, when it comes to the people who are going around and buying comic books, the every average day person, you don't have to go out and have this fear of missing out. There's not going to be this moment of, oh my gosh, I didn't understand, or I didn't get the most current absolute Wonder Woman issue, so I don't want to get on TikTok that
Right.
day, and I'm gonna get
Which
spoilers.
is
It's all
how this
okay. It's
conversation
all
starts.
okay.
Yes.
Exactly. That's majority of the time how this starts is you guys are afraid to miss out on something, but it's okay because as an example for something, I didn't play the Spider-Man 2 games. JP just did his interview
Mm.
with oh my gosh, I'm spacing on his name.
Evan Narcissus.
Help me out here. Yes, Evan Narcissus. And then
Evan
as he
Narcissus.
was talking through that interview, I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dead. I'm
No
so
way.
dead. I can't believe I missed this game. There were so many revolutionary things that happened in this game that I have fear of missing out 6 years later.
Yup.
Guess what? I'm
So
going to playing that
funny,
game now
B.
because I had that fear of missing out. It's
Well,
okay,
well,
people.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
doesn't
brother, you
make you
already missed out.
Exactly.
it doesn't make you less than if you can't participate or something. It probably just wasn't your time when it came out. I've been there and done that. So
Yeah, and honestly, my biggest thing about it is that like I feel as if because like the phone is in your hand, the phone is literally in your
yeah.
hand.
Right.
You see the videos, you see the thing, and it's like, yo, I have to be involved in the conversation. I have to know. But there's also another layer to the FOMO conversation, which is the people who use your comic book knowledge as a way to measure if you're a real fan or not.
Right.
And that's a real
Ooh.
conversation that we need to start having. Is that like, look, if you're having like
Getting
the,
weird out there.
if you're
Getting
having the
strange.
conversation of like how King Lion does the power scaling like videos and whatnot, or other people do like power scaling, like who's gonna win this fight or this person. If you want to use like the death battle, let's pull every comic panel in existence out of your butt crack, sure, we can have that conversation. But there's something to be said about like, hey yo, I haven't read every event on the face of the earth. You see the books behind me, but I haven't read every book, like every freaking event on the face of the earth. So to be in this mindset of like, yo, I have to go and pick up every freaking thing. And there's also the conversation, the layer of it as well. Of I've seen people be like, hey, yo, new comic book day. I got Superman, Batman, DCKO, this, that, like absolute power, this thing. It's like, bro, your pocket's gonna look real rough in a minute if you don't slow down. Like, it's okay to curate your pull list, yo. It's okay. Like,
I've done it before. I even have to calm down sometimes because I got bills to pay. I got rent to pay. So why sit here
exactly.
and put myself in a position like, damn, my life is off.
But it's also the mentality like of like we say it all the time, like Batman's gonna be there. Absolute universe,
Yeah.
the absolute universe is doing so good. I promise. I promise it's gonna continue, and I
It better not
promise
go
you can like
nowhere.
re-hop on the bandwagon.
Yes.
There are some things, and there are some things that are releasing where Boom Studios is releasing Marian Heretic, and me and my partner are very hell bent on pulling that because it is such an amazing story and it has been so fun, and I want to see it continue and have the longevity that like maybe Something Is Killing the Children has. And when
I
it
gotta
comes
get it.
to
Mhm.
a Boom Studios, and when it comes to something that's not a big two, I feel a little different as a fan of like, okay, well, I want to do my part and show sales. But when it comes to this idea of like, I need to be in this conversation, I think because I would experience it all the time when I would do manga and stuff like that, where I would just start forgetting shit. I don't know what the hell is happening anymore because I'm
Yeah.
slowly reading to reiterate, and I'm not
Mm.
reading to digest anything. And I just had
Mm-hmm.
to stop. And it's one of those things with comics that it's like, okay, if you miss a Wednesday, if you miss 2 Wednesdays, maybe read something that was published in the early 2000s. Go to the library and find something. Like, go through your collection and read something you haven't in a while. And, like, remember why you spend your money on this medium. It's expensive.
Yes.
It's money. Money
Well,
is
like,
money.
I
and
think
it,
you should.
oh, go ahead.
I
No,
say
let me
I think
know.
you should read for the story, but like just read for the story. Don't be worried about, oh, I need to feel included. I mean, because it's like you're not really doing it for the sake of the story. You're really doing the fact that you see other people doing, so therefore you follow suit.
Right, and there is something to be said about, like, I will wholeheartedly appreciate what DC has been doing with, like, DC Infinite Ultra, because the Ultra
Right.
straight up is like, hey yo, you're gonna get these books pretty freaking quick. Ultra straight up is like, you're gonna get these books, like, what is it, like a week or so after they drop. They're like, we're gonna make sure that you get these books in your head as fast as freaking possible. It's just you're not going to get them like the week they drop, which
Right.
cool, I understand that, but there's something to be said about the idea that you curate your pull list. I'm somebody that like gets Miles Morales. I focus on books that I get Teen Titans. I get like the specific books that I care about because I want to make sure they still get published. Like, I'm a big person of like indie books, especially. There is no reason why you should be pirating indie books. There is no reason why you should be pirating indie books, because especially when you have
that's
these.
where we get a little
I
wishy-washy.
ain't
The
even know you could
waters
pirate
are
indie
very
books. I thought
rough
it was
out
just big
here.
too.
Oh, you know, you can pirate any book that can be downloaded from like a
Anything,
digital
anything
platform.
can be scammed.
Yes, and it's wild too, because like I will
so
see
white.
like I will see books out like scans out there for the book we just talked about, Red Coat, and I'm like, bro, this imprint just launched.
Literally.
Why are you pirating a whole universe that just launched? Like,
And it's the conversation that we've had before of how comfortable you can kind of get in this routine where it's one of those things where art can feel so manufactured sometimes that you
yes.
don't really realize that like a team did work on this, and like this is kind of a curated very specific type of medium that goes through a lot of
Mm-hmm.
steps and voices and all this stuff. And especially if it's indie, that means you have an even smaller team doing this. And if it's indie, you sometimes have just like one person. Shout out Doll Parts. You sometimes have a person just writing the story and drawing the
Yeah,
story.
I'll keep it a stack. Like Astro just mentioned, Marion Heretic. It's been
Shout
pirated.
out.
Like it's on the pirate sites, and I'm like, bro, like this book just came out from
It's gorgeous
Boom.
out. Yeah,
It's
you guys should buy it.
like
It's good to have on the wall.
it's one of those things where it's like you see these like newer publishers, these newer imprints. You see people like Invader Comics, you see Ignition Comics. These people trying to get their start and they're passionate about the medium, and people try to like joke around of like, oh, like Western comics are a dead medium, they're dying. No, like they're getting a resurgence. These companies are coming back. It's not like when the boom happened in the 90s and everything went kablooey. No, like this is still going on. The entire market. We just talked about how Red Coat just came out. It's getting a movie, and it's only 17 issues in,
which is insanity. Which
Yes.
that's how you know
Yeah.
that premise is funny as hell.
yes, and it's
But
like
that also
Stories are
shows
powerful just with it just being made just like that.
Exactly.
Nope, exactly.
like look
And
at
it
something
just
that's killing
shows
the
the power
children.
that it
Like
has.
it's getting its own universe.
Exactly. Yep, it shows the power that like
what's up?
it really has when you put your money where your mouth is. For the people who actually are interested in this stuff and you want to see progression with the indie titles and even with like the big two titles that are going on out there, you got to go out and buy the comic books. As much as I hate having to say that because I don't like having to shill for the big two all the time, but that's one of the things is you got to go out there and buy these comic books. If you're just plagiarizing them or not plagiarizing them, pirating them, I keep saying plagiarize for my TikToks and it's
If you're
terrible.
copying word for word.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think people are just
But,
missing out
yep.
on just the feeling of actually going into a comic book shop, bro. Like that feeling and just seeing
it's
like
so
that
That's
variety
true
and just
too. It's
it's
so
just a beautiful thing.
nice.
Because once I went in,
And it's
I
getting
I never went back.
harder. It's getting so much harder, and I really do feel for people that don't live close to one, especially.
Mhm.
Mm.
And because like even if with like a Barnes and Noble's name drop, or even something along the lines of like a Newberry Comics and stuff like that, like it's not the same feeling almost as like
Mm.
some guy was just like, yeah, I'm doing this, and
Yeah.
I've been doing this since I was 20 years old.
Right. And there's something to be said about like there was someone in our Discord who was like, oh, they had a horrible experience at a comic shop recently. Dude was being hella mansplaining, being like hella misogynistic. Bro, I get it. I've been in some racist ass comic shops in my time. I get it. Like
It gets weird
I remember
sometimes.
walking in,
But that's outside.
you know, like I remember walking in one day and was like, hey, I wanted to pull Sam Wilson Captain America. I'm going to college on the road. And like, dude was like, why? Why would you want that? And I
Well,
was
I
like,
just saw
Why does it matter?
Tariq the Geek's TikTok where he was like looking at a stand and the guy was like, "Are you looking for like Miles Morales comics?" Like,
bro.
and that's an NYC.
Like that's
So,
crazy, and it's just like I
oh,
get it. You can have bad experiences, but not every shop is like that. And it's one of those things of like if you don't help these indie companies, if you don't help them, you're not going to see a book like Something's Killing the Children be turned into a TV show and a movie. You're not going to see Bitterroot. I know Bitterroot's been like left in like development hell, but like Bitterroot was going to be a
please.
movie made by Ryan Coogler at one point. Like there was different talks that were going to be like these stories are getting traction. These stories are being picked
Right.
up. They're new and fresh ideas. And if you don't support them, they're not going to get traction to be possibly picked up. So why would you pirate them? And then I think the one that really killed me, and I saw it before we started the show, was we just talked about the Flash Fantastic Four book and the Shazam Thor books.
Mhm.
They're on the pirate websites and
Yeah,
they're
some people just
free
have that shit.
on
Some
the
people
Why
just
is
have
it
that shit
free?
bookmarked. Some people
It's
just have
I
that
just
shit
want to know how
free.
they be getting a hold of it so
Why?
quick.
It's just an easy scam, but it's one of those things that like when we have no, and that's why like the simplicity of it when we have this conversation and the kind of
Mhm.
infighting that like, oh, you're so stupid, like why didn't you know this, or like you're dumber, I've been doing it like this forever, and it's like when we have a conversation, especially because like I said before, we're most of the time talking about the big two. We gave our thoughts about
Mhm.
pirating indie, but like to a conversation about the big two and the way they distribute their works, we need to be mad at them.
Yes.
Marvel Unlimited is not available in other countries.
That's the other dynamic, yes, because
What?
That's true.
Wait, what?
I've said multiple times that like Marvel Limited, DC Infinite. I remember when DC Infinite like first launched as like a streaming and comic app, there were so many people that were so frustrated about the fact they couldn't watch Titans or couldn't watch this show or that show on the apps when they first came out. But now that DC Infinite is just a comic reading app, there is no excuse. There is no reason why
Really?
like the Infinite and Unlimited should not be available in other countries because like I'm gonna take shots at DC for this. The whole reason why Yara Floor was created was because y'all saw a big buzz when Gal Gadot went to freaking Comic Con in Brazil, but y'all don't want like to have your comic reading app to be available in Brazil. Make it
It
make
makes no
sense.
sense. It makes no
For
The
goddamn
more
real,
money you can just
DC.
make just right there.
I don't get it, man. It blows my brain because I'm like, y'all would have so much more money. You would cut down on piracy. And there were some people who were like trying to throw lobby of like, oh, the creators get paid here and there. But here's the thing. We just talked about Static Batman Beyond. That book already has 10,000 like clicks on the pirating website for it. It just came out less than a week ago. You're telling me that y'all couldn't go walk to the comic shop and go pick that up for $5? And like if you're
But
in
I
other countries,
understand that
$5 you can
but I
spend.
understand that
That's
some people don't have a comic book shop near. But then
yes,
that's
that's the
true.
other conversation of the pricing of DC Infinite. And I feel
yes,
like every single time we just like recircle that like I think we have to relook at like DC's Infinite pricings and stuff like that. I think like there is something to say
100%.
of the
Yeah.
kind of
I mean, like
I don't know.
I wouldn't even
like
say it's
you can sell me on a little bit because I have it pulled up. It's $7.99 for like for 27,000 comics and graphic
That's the
novels.
one I used to have.
You can have everything up to 6 months.
Right.
Ultra is $12.99 a month, and that gives you everything up till 30 days before before it comes out.
did they get rid of the basic tier?
That's standard. Standard is 6
Standard
months.
is the tier.
Standard
Okay.
is 6 months. Ultra is 30 days. So, and like $7.99 and $12.99
I
for
think
that
the
much,
12
I
right.
feel like that's pretty
No,
reasonable.
yeah.
Especially
It's
because
not
like
that much of a jump.
right, like because with standard, that's $2 more than an average single issue at this point. That's not that bad. So like it could be worse, and especially because I had the conversation with David Pepos talking about Marvel Unlimited. Because I need to pull up Marvel Unlimited's pricing, but like especially when you're
think
basically
that's what
giving
I'm
away your
thinking of.
entire collection of work for $2 more than a single issue. I could see Marvel kind of being like, or Marvel and DC kind of side eyeing and being like, I don't know about that. But like, okay, so Marvel Unlimited is $9.99 a month for just everything. Annual is everything you get with the monthly plan for $50
Right.
less at $69 a year, and then the annual plus has like a membership kit you get like every couple months, invites to Marvel events, and then you get 10% off merch. Cool, whatever. But like, imagine if
Yeah, I think
Marvel
maybe
Unlimited did
DC
what
Infinite
DC's
just
doing.
needs. Yeah, I think there just needs to be more incentive on both ends. If that
Yes.
is like even weird to say, because it's one of those things that like you can argue all day and night about pricing. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things that like I can sit here and like pitch for lower prices, but like it is like a comfortable kind of range for a monthly subscription at least, or like for however the system
6,
works.
7.
Oh God. Get out of here with that stuff.
So
I'm officially
ignore that
Comic
one.
Talk Ugg. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with Comic Talk Ugg style.
Great
I'm all right.
drop.
Drop top, damn it.
Jesus Christ.
But like, no, like for real though, like you make a really good point because like,
even
yeah.
to you just saying that like Marvel has like this kind of like, because I remember, because that was my point of like Marvel has like these even like specialer perks where you
Yes.
get to feel even like cooler for like being subscribed and being in the kind of know-how. And I think it's just one of those things that it is sometimes a conversation and a stepping stone of like, yeah, maybe you don't have to pick one sometimes. In my household, I pay for the DC Ultimate and the DC Infinite, and my partner pays for the Marvel Ultimate. That's our system.
Yeah.
But it's also a conversation of finding and looking through old comic books and stuff like that, and understanding that like, yeah, like I want to be a part of the conversation, but like maybe you can wait for a trade. Absolute Batman trade just came out. Absolute Wonder Woman trade just came out too.
Yeah, it did.
Trades are coming out. If you need to wait for the trade, that is an entirely different thing. Like wait and take your time. But I understand the stress of like, oh, I want to talk about it now, but I think there is a value of, while this cultural zeitgeist is happening and there's this public conversation of like, why don't you step back and like go back through another comic series or go through another hero that's not being talked about right now. Get eyes on something else, just so, like I keep saying before and making the point of reminding yourself why we do this. Nobody forced us to do this, and nobody forced us to be here. You like this stuff.
Yeah.
We enjoy this medium. I don't understand why I'm opening my phone and everyone's really mad all of the time.
Exactly.
And kind of creating these
Exactly.
circular points that at the end of the day, we really have to point to like, who's distributing this art to us.
Make a very valid
Yep.
point.
And that's kind of the whole
And it
point
just
of
begs the
like.
question.
Go ahead.
Oh my bad. It just like begs the question of like it not being available in like other countries. Could it be like politics, the government's not seeing eye to eye on a certain situation, therefore if they can't have access to these comics?
He makes a really good point because I remember
And
there was
yes.
a while back where like South Park episodes were getting banned in certain countries on Paramount Plus. So like maybe that's a dynamic we're not looking at, is that like certain like topics or certain themes aren't worth like visiting in other countries. So they're just like, screw it, we're just gonna ban it and not worry about it. So like that's why we're very much kind of like we're kind of like gonna look in the other direction of other people in other countries pirating. But if you're in the United States, you're just letting FOMO ruin you, fam. I can't really like help you. I'm sorry. I know that sucks to say. That comes off very blunt. But like, if you're in this country, maybe it's time to go hit up your local library. And like, if your local library is being defunded, maybe it's time to wait for a trade. Like there's gonna come a time where you can pull up and like, especially when I feel like there's a misconception when it comes to pre-ordering at a local comic book shop. It's not like a GameStop where you walk in and you have to drop almost like half or all the entire amount for a new game. Like when you want to like pre-order the new Call of Duty, you don't pull up and drop the whole amount right then and there. And then like with a comic book says you walk up to your local comic book store owner and say, I want to pull Static, Storm, Captain America, and whatever the fuck else. Cool. I will let you know when those come in. Or here's the release date of these books. Cool.
I'll be back then. I was gonna say I do it off my local LCS like website, and I can just sit there and just hit what's coming out, and it'll just tell me the cutoff date.
Or like League of Comic Geeks is used by so many LCSs at this point to track their freaking pull
and that's
list.
been so nice, honestly.
Yeah, and
because it's just like you open an app and you like look at it, and it's one of those things of. At least like because we say it all the time, it's so hard to navigate this community and this industry and all this stuff because this is weekly, and the feeling of being overwhelmed by the news and stuff like that, and even being like, oh, I just need like a break from this medium in general, like is so common. So it's just one of those things of like working with yourself almost and understanding that like comics can come in comics, but there's also like other forms of like graphic novels. There's like DC and Marvel have their own, like we were saying before, in terms of international American politics and stuff like that, and kind of the themes and topics. There are graphic novels from other countries and stuff like that. There are reading material that explores themes that are not primarily American. So it's one of those things that this always feels like a superhero issue when we come around to it. Like, and that's where this is born, this conversation, in the superhero community. Yeah. It's always us.
Yeah.
And the lore is just never ending.
Right. Like, it's one of those things that's like, yeah, it feels hard to keep up. I get it.
Yep, it's hard to keep up because the lore is never ending. We're going to have instances to where like you're going to find out something about Superman that came out in the 70s because it was hidden in a one-shot comic book that we never knew existed until one sweaty neckbeard pulled it out of his closet one day, you know?
Bruh, you ain't kidding.
But isn't that why we're here? I don't know.
And
it's interesting to me, at least.
It's still good storytelling.
Right, and it's one of them things where like and that's why I kind of threw the topic in there of like, don't let the neckbeards or the people who are having the power scaling conversations influence your FOMO worse than it already is. But also with this, I wanted to actually like we talked about them a little bit last week, but like there are other ways to like get digital comics besides just Amazon / Comixology, because Comixology kind of got like eaten alive by Amazon because Jeffrey Bezos is that guy. But like there's great websites that are popping up. There's places like Neon Ichiban. Neon Ichiban was founded by Distillery, which was the guys who originally founded Comixology. They went and created a new platform, their own publisher, and was like, we're back. We had to sell to Amazon, but we see there's a need not only for comic books, but a digital platform where you can have comics and manga in the same place. Yeah. So like Neon Ichiban is definitely worth your time and worth your call out. Like we're trying to partner with them. We want to make sure people know about them even more. And like we're shouting them out even if we don't get partner. We want y'all to know about this stuff because it matters. Because
it's good to know. It's good to have under your belt because it's one of those things that like we just talked for like a good 30 minutes of how frustrating DC Infinite and Marvel Unlimited can be.
Yes.
Upgrade your options.
And it's also like there's also global comics, because like global comics, like it's like global and then comics, like the CES is an X. Like their platform is $6.99 for months and months and months and years and years and years of back issues. You can read almost the entirety of Spawn from start to finish for $6.99 a month.
It's a crazy catalog. It is a pretty insane catalog with manga too, which I
I
And it's
love the
all
I love
comics.
my old manga.
like even for like the yearly version is $69 a year. 69 a year.
Nice.
And what's super cool about their program is like every year you get 6-7 day access codes to give away to people so they can try the subscription for themselves. Or if you do the monthly plan, you get one. And it's like, how cool is that? Like you get one 7-day access code per every month if you do the monthly plan. So you can straight up just be like, hey yo, B, I want you to read some books. Here's a 7-day access code. Go read that shit. Like
Yeah,
that's how cool Global
exactly.
Comics is, because they're like, hey yo, try that shit for $6.99.
Making it
You can
easy
go
to
slide
start your
there.
own book club, guys. Making it so easy to start your own book club.
And this is like one of the things that I like to talk about on this podcast is getting other people out there to read. And this is a way to get people out there to read because it's word to mouth. You guys get me so excited to read all these other comics that I haven't been able to get my hands on, to where like I think oh my gosh, you were talking about it last week, the doll one that you were talking about. I put that one onto technically a pull list at my shop, and so they've got the first little bit ordered for me. And so I'm getting ready to like get into different things. That's the joys of
Oh
like
my gosh.
this
Look at
medium.
you.
It's
Look
word
at
to mouth. You can
you.
share things. That's why we do this stuff.
I definitely agree because now, like, I'm just hearing so much about Krakoa, which I haven't gotten to that era
Oh
specifically.
yes.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait. I just don't know where to start it at because I've been trying to find a starting point so I can read it all the way through.
Very
And
much
even in
so.
that, like finding like this perfect starting point is cool. So, especially when it comes to like talking about like these services and stuff like that. I don't know, it just brings me back to the days of like when we had options like a Crunchyroll and a Funimation, like all this stuff
Mm,
where you just have your stuff that you want to see but like in different places. I don't
Mm.
know. I like being able to rely on multiple different things to like get, because sometimes I don't know, it's weird. You guys know subscription services are weird.
yeah.
Why is everything scattered all over the
Not everything
place?
has to be a monopoly. Like, yeah, like we got so used to Comixology being owned by Amazon, so like all your books are over there. And not gonna
Right.
lie, I miss when Comixology was like that, because there were some great deals you'd get occasionally. Like I remember getting the entirety of Coates' Black Panther run for free because they had a deal
Yeah.
going on with Marvel. Like there used to be some cool shit out there, but like there's also the conversation that I really want to sit down with somebody from Marvel's PR and DC's PR. I want to sit down and understand how they view digital, because that's another layer of the conversation
Right.
as well is like,
Is
your
this worth it? Do you think this worth it?
right? Because like, what if you're somebody? Because there has been people that like go back to the Green Arrow side of things. We talked about the people who were like, hey yo, I really want to read Green Arrow. I've been reading it. Why are you canceling it? We're gonna start a change.org petition because y'all want to cancel Green Arrow. I was reading it digitally, is the asterisk they say. Well,
Right.
we don't care about digital sales. We care about the print sales.
Which is
So
Yeah.
so and that's where it gets infuriating. And that's like kind of like the crux of this entire piracy conversation, because it's one of those things where at the end of the day, your anger kind of does need to be at the way we look at sales and the way the big two calculate sales, because I don't understand why I pour money into these subscription services and read what I read and it's not actually counting in any foreseeable metric. I'm not
Yes.
that's not quite cooperating
Yeah,
in my
because why?
brain.
It's just like, why are you investing in it? And the whole time, like, no, I'm not just gonna look that way. We're gonna focus on this right here.
It's
yeah,
kind of a slap in the
Exactly.
face. It
Yeah.
definitely like, and that's why
Because
we have these piracy conversations, guys.
yeah, and then it brings into the whole conversations to where we have the well buyers that come in that will boost sales for one comic book, and then they're
Right.
only focused on that one comic book instead of, maybe veer your eyes to
Batman,
the app and see that Green
Spider-Man.
Lantern is getting
Oh, my throat. I'm
yep,
sorry.
yep. Exactly. And
Right.
maybe veer your eyes
I see
over to
too
the
many
app and
issues.
see that Green Lantern's getting a bootload of, readership right now, just because that's where it's at, is on the app. We're in a new age now. They need to start giving more, weight to the app at this point.
Especially if we are in the quote unquote pixel era. Are we in the pixel era? Are
Digital
You
era.
would think we
we're
would
Hell,
in the
be.
we're
digital?
past the
Yeah.
pixel era now. This is 4K, 8K on camera
This is
era
right.
now.
We're like 4K digital in the weeds hacking era. So I'm not quite understanding why shows where my head is at. I always think we're in the pixel era, but it's like one of those things that like we are so far past even like this 2015 rebirth era and like that age of starting up the digital reading. We are so far past that is just people's normal
Well,
of
like, yeah,
consuming content. And I don't understand, why don't you care, Marvel and DC?
Well, and it's so funny too because I like the whole reason why the show is called Comics Unmasked is because it's a riff on a History Channel like the documentary they did called Comic Book Superheroes Unmasked, where it was narrated by Keith David. They talked about like everything from like the beginning of comic books all the way to like the early 2000s. And I remember watching, like, I think it was the founder of Dark Horse talking about how they were afraid of digital back then in like '05. And you're telling me that y'all have had like over 20 years to figure out how to get comfortable with digital and y'all still ain't done it? Make it make sense. Like, like there's still codes in the single issues to like go on the Marvel app and like redeem those codes and whatnot. But it's also a matter of like, y'all should be making this more accessible. Y'all should be comfortable with the idea of measuring the readership on these apps, because like these apps are great archives for back issues, but some of them aren't fully like cataloged. There's some back issues that are missing occasionally. Like there's issues of the Milestone books that aren't there. Astra's about to choke out people because a Wonder Woman issue.
Astra suffered a lot reading for Wonder Woman for her thesis. Astra suffered a lot trying to read the Golden Era on DC Infinite. I don't know why it's organized like that. Continue, Kyle. How do you read your comics? Let us know.
I'll pick them up.
Okay.
Because at one point I used to do the whole like DC Marvel thing, but like I started to get frustrated because like all of these like stories are dropping at once, and it's like it takes a minute for them to get on there. So I was like, you know what? I'm just cut out the middleman. I'm just going there, set up my own little pull list, and just go from there. Because my thing is,
like in terms of pricing, like do you prefer more having your subscriptions, or is it like more of a cost benefit to just continue single issues?
I would prefer single issues.
Okay.
But just like
the
just
variant
sitting
covers.
there, yeah, the variant covers and just admiring the art. Especially, I'm a sucker for foils. So when I have it in my hands, it's just something that just,
hey, man, you should be lucky you wasn't around back in the '90s, because all there was foil covers and gimmicks to raise your wallet.
I would have loved to go back then. And my thing is,
please,
like,
these blind bags are getting me right now.
Oh, you poor thing.
I have yet to get a blind bag. I've been wanting a blind bag for the
cool.
longest.
They're really cool.
There was over 1,000 blind bag covers for the monsters, the Halloween monsters thing they did, and I was like,
I saw those.
Dear God,
my partner got like 5.
Like you got a lottery at that point. Like, dear God, bruh. And it definitely raises a lot of questions about things. So, you know, just at the end of the day, like I'm gonna end with this when it comes to the piracy conversation. Like I said it in my video talking about this. If you broke, get comfortable with the idea of maybe waiting. Don't let the FOMO rule you. Don't let it control you. Don't let the apps like the TikTok conversation like threaten your belief or your conversations. It's okay to be a little bit like out of the convo for a little bit, because at the end of the day, I loved my conversation with T.S. Luther about the Digger that's coming out like in the new year. He can only get more books published if people look at his book and go into a comic shop and say, I want to pre-order this, I want to pick up this book. Exactly. And he might not get another shot. But you're telling me, yo, I'm a pirate anyway. Eat my ass, bro. Like, the idea of you not caring about these publishers, like, because Jim Zub posted this giant thread back in 2019 when all the big comic creators from the big two found out about the really big like pirate site that everyone uses that's like switched domains like 15 times. They found out about that website and they straight up said, look at this shit. Our books might not have been canceled if you would have just taken a little bit of your money and supported us. But there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands. You like think about the idea. Like if you want to pirate Batman, I don't give a fuck. Like do what you want. But like if you're in the U.S. asterisk, if you are in the U.S. and you're pirating like the new Static Batman Beyond book and that shit just came out, eat my ass. If you're pirating
especially like
books,
if we want to have more Static as a hero when this is
Exactly.
kind of to showcase that, like, for fans that, like, yes, they do want to see more of this hero and they want this hero back in print kind
Mhm.
of conversation.
Exactly.
And they can't get mad if they stop making a story because whole time you're not supporting it financially.
Exactly.
Yes,
And that's how we got
exactly.
here with Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Well, like it's how we got to the Green Arrow. It's the fact that like people get so mad. Like there was that girl who straight up asked James Gunn, "When are we getting a Static TV show?" Y'all didn't support the Milestone Returns book, so why the fuck would you get a Static TV
Right.
show? And then like there's motherfuckers who were on my Twitter post about it, like, oh, I don't want print, I don't want comics, so I don't want to have to read. Why should I have to read to get Static? Because Dwayne McDuffie wouldn't have ever created Static in the first place to get a TV show if y'all motherfuckers wouldn't have read the books to begin
It's a
with.
little
What do you
silly.
mean?
It's a little silly, and it's just another instance of kind of the disconnect between like people that are watching shows and watching superhero content instead of the reading superhero content, and then not knowing how crucial these sales are for especially characters like this, where I don't want to say it, but this is how sales sees it, niche
Yeah.
kind of
Yep,
deal.
yep,
And I think a lot of people gotta realize with like
exactly.
just watching just the superhero media, is the fact that like when you read the comic books, you don't have to worry about age, you don't have to worry about actor or just the show going off at any point in time, like because it's just one of those things where it's a never ending story. So because you gotta think about it, Batman probably been the same age since what, the 1930s, and all these other characters
Bruh.
that come along.
Well, that's the gag, the
Dude hasn't aged
cyclicalness,
and he's
like,
got a
it's
Yeah,
there, and we
million
have
freaking
the
issues at
opportunity
this
to do
point.
it,
yeah. Then you get
and
all the
he will get a
crossovers you
million
want.
more.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So, like, yeah, just like be conscientious of what you're doing, folks. We didn't have any listener questions, so I'm not gonna like. Or did we? I don't know.
We
I
had
didn't.
one.
We had one. Let me look back over here. I didn't see the Discord. That's all me. Also, join the Discord if you haven't joined the Discord, kids. But let me look back over here. We
Join the
did.
Discord. We do listener questions. We promote all the fun things that we're doing, and it's just an opportunity to come in and talk about what we talked about the show in a little bit of more detail, and also recommend us some comics, and we
Yes,
recommend you some comics, and we're always just recommending each other
most
comics. It
definitely.
doesn't stop. I wake up and I'm like, that's a new thing to read.
You haven't read
Um,
Daily Class?
I have. Have I? It's a daily class.
Yeah.
Deadly
It's
class or
by
daily
it's by
class?
Image. It's by Image.
Oh, Deadly Class. Yes, I've read Deadly Class. Deadly Class is amazing. I heard
Oh, that
Daily
was
Class. I'm like, what? But look,
I
nah.
have not. To go
no,
on my
Deadly Class is
list.
amazing. But like, Astro, I have homework for you later. But like in general,
Okay.
Ruby asked in the Discord, besides comic books, what hobbies do y'all also dabble in? I'm a video game junkie. If you like, I'm currently
In your
in.
little chair,
I'm
in your little
currently.
gamer chair right now.
I feel shamed.
I think
I'm.
you and B have like the same chair, Loki.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
No,
No,
I'm,
he
I'm
has a different
teasing.
brand
It's
of mine.
not.
But
It's Urple though.
yeah, we're both Urple. That's what's up. But like, I'm in recovery for Destiny 2 addiction because Bungie's letting the game go to
Good.
shit. But, so I'm currently like I'm in the Marvel Rivals partner program, so it's comic adjacent, but I'm in the Marvel Rivals partner program playing games and shit. I also love just like video games and
Weird.
stuff like that. I'm trying to get back into trading cards. I fell out of Magic for a while. I'm like slowly tapping in for Disney Lorcana because that's been fun to look at all the art for that shit.
Yes, Lorcana's
Um,
I got a couple
so
buddies from
fucking
high
fun.
school
It's
that are
so fun.
so into Lorcana.
It's
I
fun.
must say,
It's really cool, and it's easy to build. Like
yes.
it's simple. It's not like a mind fuck the way MTG can be sometimes.
I just went to a pre-release for MTG on Saturday because they had the release of the Avatar: The Last Airbender like expansion. That was a fun time.
Ooh, I better go pick that up.
Like Astro, other than your clubbing as you do on the weekends, what hobbies do you have?
Okay, rude. I'm young and turned, so sorry.
Came out the
Sorry you're
gates.
jealous of that. I'm so sorry. But when
Hitting us with the old
when I'm
facts
not
here
being young and
now.
turned, uh, he said it, not me. Um, when I'm not young and turned. I am researching. Honestly, I do a lot of research into occult topics. An astrology student, working on getting my certification with the American Astrology Association. I have a
Huh.
lot more studying and researching to do. So I read. I write. I'm in writing my writing phase of writing my self-help book, which is kind of in its weird outline skeletal phase. But honestly, other than that, I'm a crafter. I need to get back into my crocheting. I have some things to make for some people. I make like crochet amigurumis. I don't know how to measure. I don't really know how to measure, so I'm not making like I don't know, garments or anything because I can't measure. Please don't ask me. Um But no, and I bedazzle too. So I used to bedazzle pop Funkos, and I kind of want to get back on it. I
Bro,
have
did you
an
see the video of the
entire.
girl who bedazzled her Vaseline case?
That is where I got the inspiration. That
Oh,
she is my queen, and that's where I got inspired. So I started to do. I have a Munchlax
okay.
bedazzled, and that's really fun and that's really cool. Oh, and I also collage. I like to rip apart comic books. I gore them,
The
and I
Ah,
the
make cool,
horde.
cool
oh, this just
collages.
breaking my
Ugh,
heart.
the
It's okay.
purist in
It's
me.
okay. It's okay.
And
Oh my
Right,
God.
like you look at
Once
her and
you
you
go through
go,
4 years of English degree and you realize paper's just paper.
Nah,
the like Comic
it's a
Tom
beautiful
on
paper.
YouTube is crying at what you just said.
No,
Right? Like
literally. And I'm
genuinely,
so
the,
sorry.
like the golden age moms who gave away gems and mint condition books to the war effort for war bonds are crying right now.
Okay, that's a little extreme. I'm getting New 52 from the dollar
Oh,
bin.
that's fine. No, like New 52 is trash anyway. It's
okay, we're
fine.
good.
We don't care about New 52.
Damn, I had an
Bro,
interest in that
bro,
shit.
I am a New 52
No, everyone
slanderist. I'm
was like,
sorry.
whatever.
That
No,
was
I'm
my
Like
just
intro
Starfire
into
was a blow
DC
up
when I
doll. Like
started
come at me,
collecting.
bro. I'm sorry.
be what hobbies you have.
Yes, B, what hobbies do you have?
Ah, see, now I feel like I'm lame at this point because basically, if I'm not working or reading comic
Damn.
books and it's not raining or snowing
He's selling
outside, I'm
weed.
trying to go camping. Yeah, yeah,
Shout out to
I am doing
That
that
is the
too. That's the
whitest
main
shit
Camping?
you've
job.
ever said to me.
yeah.
That is the
Wait,
whitest
you're
shit.
a camper?
Oh
So
man, I don't
I'm
feel like
not.
No,
I
you
was
do it.
like
never
I'll be scared
originally a
as hell.
honestly,
camper.
like
I'll be
Same,
This
bro.
is
I've
this is
been
the
camping.
thing.
That shit is
I was.
terrifying.
I've never was like originally
I do it in the
camping. There was one
cabin.
thing that my family always said was if you ever catch our family outside camping, you know we're homeless because you'll never catch us in one of
that
those like
that's
Wait,
camp
that's
what?
suits outside of slavery. That was one of the things that my family would always say. And then I ended up dating the current girlfriend that I have now,
and
and
now
she
here
took
you
me
are.
camping 4th of July. I bought a truck, I bought a camper. I go out as soon as it's February and it starts raining out there. I put on a cloak, I get a
This man bought
fire
a camper?
going, and
Wait, this is my
Oh wow. Like,
this
do
is
you
the
go
most fun fact about you. I love
like
this.
do you go like to a reserve or you just go like, hey, I'm gonna just sit out in this particular area?
we just go sit out in a particular area. We don't reserve a spot. We're out like 3 to 4 hours away from signal and all of that stuff. We get deep into the
Oh no.
woods.
Oh my God.
I
All
know,
right.
right?
Well, okay. So, other than B becoming Davy Crockett, Kyle, like, what you be
No
doing
comment.
in your spare time, fam?
I do MMA.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
Hey,
fight in my spare
that is
time.
more interesting than anything the three of
Yeah.
us just said. Please dive into that.
I started like 2 years ago,
Okay.
and it's very good to have something that you're consistent at. Granted, it does get too stressed sometimes when you're sparring, dieting, having to do conditioning. But
Mm-hmm.
it just puts you in a place of having a discipline. And I'm planning on like hopefully I'm trying to see when I can get my next fight.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, that is so cool. What made you
round of
want
applause
to
for
do
you.
it?
yeah, for
No, like
sure.
what made you want to get into it? Especially because you said like 2 years. Like this is not like you've been doing it since the teenage
Honestly,
years.
honestly, I was in like I used to do it back when I was a teenager, but I did like
Okay.
karate. And
Oh,
the gym
okay.
that
Whoa.
the gym I used to go to, I mean the gym I go to now is also a boxing gym. So I take both classes. So at that time,
Okay.
I was in a dark space in my life. I wanted to really just build myself up. And I went there, and the rest is just history.
There you go. All right, all right.
Wait, I love the karate to MMA pipeline. That's like really, that's
Right.
so intriguing to me. That's so sick, man.
That's
Damn.
I
awesome.
appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, let's go and hop into the comic highlights for next week, because it's not the 29th.
sir.
Next week is what? So there'll be the 19th. Books will be dropping. Absolute Flash number 9 is coming out. Make sure you pick that up. Like we already talked about, because of the other books. Deadpool, well, Batman / Deadpool is coming out. Kyle, what you got?
I need Thon to turn into a Reverse Flash or something. You just see him how
Jeff
that feels.
Lemire is doing the
He
slowest
gets
burn on
it.
the
He
face
gets
of
it.
the earth,
Yeah.
bro.
He gets it. He gets it.
Like,
Or
I feel
just
like
like-
Jeff Lemire's just so busy. He's like, I'm gonna just keep lighting this fuse a little longer. It's gonna
No,
we'll keep lighting
literally.
it like a little bit
Yeah, bro.
longer.
Yes.
Or that'll just.
Such a
I
tease.
thought like Barry Allen would be like a good villain.
Yes. Like, I definitely could get behind like Barry being a
Yeah,
villain, because it would be a
like
nice
that
little
take.
spoof. Like, I would really be down for that. Dear God, there were so many covers for this Marion Heretic book. Dear God, Astro, like y'all are
She's
crazy.
cool.
Then you
Also,
got.
issue 2 of Mary Sue comes out next week. From Boom Studios as well.
Oh,
I
shit,
talked
I
about
know.
it a few weeks ago.
Like this
It is
coming week or next week?
the 19th.
Okay, cool. Making sure.
It is a really cool story. I talked about it a little bit in a previous episode, where Girls OC just comes to life. Like, her Mary Sue comes to life. Like, a school bully picks up her stories and is like, you're just writing a
Memphis
Mary
Martin's
Sue.
writing it? Oh my God.
And then her Mary Sue comes to defend her. And I think it is going to be the most ironic story. It could either go one of two ways of, like, I genuinely think it's just going, like, it's a story of, like, this girl being so annoyed at her own creation. Like, I think that's how wacky we're gonna get, but stay tuned for that. It's been a very fun read. Boom Studios has producing some really cool female
Yes.
focused stories lately. Been loving it.
Most definitely. Well, like them, like I've been loving their stuff that they've been putting out. Image Comics not only has the final issue of News from the Fallout, but from Chris Condon. Make sure you check that out. That book has been such a solid, just like grim story about the world we live in. Yeah, if y'all haven't gone and checked that out yet, make sure you get issue 6 and then get the trade, because god damn, that
I
book
got the
has
first
been.
issue I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it's so good, bro. Like, just like
Gotta
the
catch up,
like
gotta catch up.
like the Chris Condon is an underrated writer, man. Like, that's why I feel like so many folks were upset about his Green Arrow being canceled, because bro has just
Right.
been killing it. So like,
He didn't even get like
yeah.
the potential, like, he was just starting
Yeah.
is the frustration too.
So like, definitely make sure, like, if you want to read some of his other work, make sure you go peep that, because dude definitely knows what he's doing. I'm trying to get him on the show at some point, because that mini was amazing. Then from Marvel, we have the Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular.
Yes,
that's
we
coming
do.
out. That'll be a fun read. I do know that like the
We
next
have
issue.
Nova. We have a new Nova coming out.
Is it Ryder or is it Alexander?
It is. I'm checking right now. It's Ryder.
I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm so tired of. I'm so
No,
tired
you're
of Ryder,
spitting.
bro.
You're spitting.
Like,
Someone out there went yippee, and I'm really excited for that person.
Nova Centurion from Jen McKay. Okay. Like, I think one of my favorite comic panels of all time was like Nova meeting the champions and him
Right.
finding
Oh
out
my
about
gosh,
all these
yeah.
characters. Like, and he's just like, I hate everything you just said to me. Like, I was so just like blown away by that panel.
Well, X-Men Apocalypse is also coming out X-Men of Apocalypse is coming out that week too, which is kind of an X-Men of Apocalypse versus Uncanny X-Men deal. I'm very excited for that, actually, with Mr. Jeff writing that. So we'll see. Let's see.
Oh, definitely. Like, I thought it was so funny, because I remember like when that Champions issue came out, and like that was when the time displaced X-Men were a thing. And damn you, Bendis, for giving the time displaced X-Men. I will always hate you for that. But like, that's why like Johns and Bendis will always be my biggest ops, because
So
y'all
funny.
like y'all have created some of my favorite works of fiction ever, but you've made me hate you for some of the things you've done. Like Bendis, Miles Morales, Riri Williams, great new Avengers work. Time displaced X-Men. Why? Jeff Johns. Great, my first ever comic run I ever collected. Teen Titans. Like his indie work is phenomenal. It's like DC Rebirth. Some of his greatest work was New 52 Justice League. I love your work, but then you brought Hal Jordan back to life. You brought Barry Allen back to life. What are you doing? But like,
you're so salty. You're
just
so
like
salty.
those are my biggest ops, bro. Because I love their work, but I hate their work. It's just But like, yeah, it just be like that. Then from there,
also Harley
had...
Quinn X Elvira from Dynamite issue 2.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Ooh,
Yes,
okay.
yep.
That's
like
a
I
hell
said
of a
before,
crossover.
the first one was fun. The first one was cute. So I think it was a really cool showcase of both of their characteristics.
The idea that Elvira's estate let them do that is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's cool, and it's like so Elvira. Like it's so like for straight out of a movie scene. This woman. So,
I love that. Then we had the next issue of Exquisite Corpses coming out. If you have not peeped, like, mark my words.
yes. Oh my
that
gosh,
is the
this
next
man
James Tynion
is
book
doing
to become a
crazy
movie.
stuff. He
Like,
is on fire.
Like, I don't know when he sleeps. Like, he's just as bad as Scott Snyder. I don't know when that man sleeps. Because for you to have, like, you have work at Distillery, you have work at, like, you're doing work with, like, I think, like, he's doing work with Ghost Machine, too, I think. I don't know about that. I'll have to double check. But, like, he's doing work in the indies. He's doing work with Image and Boom. And I'm like, bro, when? And then you're going back to DC for Vertigo. I'm like, brother, are you good?
Literally.
Are you okay?
I'm making a bag.
Man, like, and like, if you have not peeped Exquisite Corpses, make sure that you do that. We're getting issue 7, but like, it's definitely an easy pickup because of how good it's been. So definitely make sure you peep that.
As Michelle Visage would say, it's very high concept.
Yes, very much so. And then issue 3 of Everything Dead and Dying is coming out. Tate Brombell has been killing that book, so make sure that you peep that. Did I miss anything? Oh, and then Temporal issue 2 is coming out for Mad Cave. Like Stephanie Williams has been doing so good with that. Like those are the highlights from us for the week. Discord
Actually,
boosters.
we have one final thing we didn't talk about from Marvel. Guess who's writing Daredevil?
I was gonna get to that. That was gonna be like my last thing I was gonna mention real quick. So hold on to your hat.
Well, I'm in your head, and I want to talk about it.
Okay, fine, let's do it. So, the Marvel news that came out, and I was going to take a crack at someone.
I love my Stephanie.
Stephanie Phillips is getting to write Daredevil, and it's going to be the greatest book ever. And we might be able to get her on the show to talk about it. But like, genuinely, Stephanie Phillips is writing the new run of Daredevil. It's going to be phenomenal. She seems so excited about it. Like just in her video announcing it, it was so awesome to see. And like, automatic pickup. If you ain't picking it up, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, it's gonna be great.
I'm enjoying her run on Planet of She-Hulk.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
man.
her Ghost Spider work has been amazing. Grimm from Boom.
Ready.
Another Boom book you should be picking up is Grimm.
I have so many I gotta pick up. It just, oh my God.
Her work, her new book she just did with Distillery is really good. Like that woman, that's another one who don't sleep because like her work just be killing it. And I don't know how these people sleep, like genuinely. So make sure you are peeping that. Yeah,
so excited for a Professor Matt Murdock. The shenanigans. Ooh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be.
He's gonna be a teacher.
Yes.
He's gonna be a law professor.
He's going to teach children law. Isn't that a ridiculous concept? It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be very wacky.
Man.
We'll definitely have to but that like the reason why I was holding off on it was because there was this idiot on YouTube who was trying to say that like Daredevil is being ruined forever because it's getting woke, and I was just like, bro,
no way.
It just,
bro,
I mean, it's not woke. It just like I really like you talking about the TV show or just
no, like there was an idiot on YouTube who was
just a
saying
woman writing it, I
because
assume?
Stephanie is getting to write the book, it's becoming woke. And I'm like, oh, so it wasn't woke when Elektra became Daredevil? It wasn't woke when like Daredevil already is a blind man doing some crazy ass shit in these streets? Like y'all already hate disabled
comics?
people. Right.
Are we guys? I don't like. I understand we're in our own little TikTok sphere, but sometimes I open up YouTube and I'm a little confused because what's happening over there, and I don't. Are we reading, guys? We can be honest. Because I'm a little
I'm
confused.
assuming that they're maybe listening to 15-second clips of people being wrong about something
Yeah.
that they maybe have read.
Guys, Daredevil is woke now, so I get so excited
Coming
for
from the
woke
woke
Daredevil.
podcast, Daredevil's woke. Like, just deal with it. Like,
There we go.
but like,
Yeah.
I figured out the disconnect because I've been doing a lot of like history digging and documentaries recently.
Oh, you found it.
I found that like the disconnect because if you look at the timeline around the time of the Comics Code Authority coming out, there was the issue of they were like, oh, Batman's and Robin are gay, Wonder Woman's being too independent and not spending enough time with Steve Trevor, Superman is anti-capitalist and he's against the government and yada yada.
Yeah.
And that's when the Comics Code Authority came in and said, all right, we're going to do what the government wants and we're going to censor our comic books. So that's when you saw like Batman and Robin got girlfriends and Wonder Woman did everything Steve wanted her to and Superman basically became a cop. And then you saw the Comics Code Authority start to get repealed because you had things like Frank Miller make The Dark Knight Returns. And that was literally a whole comic book about Batman going up against a Ronald Reagan administration and Superman siding with Ronald Reagan, but for some reason y'all don't read the political intrigue anywhere in that. And then literally, I kid you not, the reason why they started to reevaluate and repeal the Comics Code Authority was because I believe it was a U.S. senator or a sitting mayor reached out to Stan Lee and said, hey, I want you to make a book talking about anti-drug use. And Stan Lee wrote a whole book about Harry Osborn being addicted to drugs. And the Comics Code Authority said he couldn't publish it, but the publisher said do it anyway. And that's when they started to reevaluate the Comics Code. But no, that's too political, though. That's too political. But then you look at it now, and that's the generation of these idiots, the generation of people who think that comics are too political now. That's the generation of people who remember when Superman was a cop. They remember when like Batman was that kind of vibe. They remember when Wonder Woman wasn't that important. That's the issue. Is they have this weird misconception.
But I hope they also remember the lack of
like
diversity in narrative at that time as well.
Exactly. Like you had like that's the whole reason why Milestone was founded, was because they really didn't like the fact that Luke Cage was written by a white guy and saying goofy shit like Sweet Christmas. Like they really didn't like the shit that was going on. So like it's one of them things of like, yes, comics have always been political, and yes, there were some well-meaning white guys back in the day. Like we wouldn't have Black Panther if Jack and Stan didn't want to give us a Black Panther, but there like stuff still needed to progress over time. Comics have always been political. Stop being ignorant.
It's a long history, and it's, if you don't know it, it's okay, because it's a lot of twists and turns, and a lot of it coincides directly with the state of American politics at the time. So it's a lot of like knowledge to have under the belt, but it is there. And it did happen. And we do kind of have to think about it a little bit when we want to talk of the grand overarching state of this medium.
I think it bothers people when they see like the resemble in like society. So it kind of makes them mad because they're looking at this as a form of escape. But you gotta realize we also got it from the reality that we're living in. I mean, you can't run from it at the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing is ever true 100% escapism is kind of the unfortunate thing that you'll learn if you consume media, if you're a girly on the spectrum like me that loves her maladaptive daydreaming. Nothing is ever 100% escapist, and you'll never ever truly be able to take yourself out of the situation in the perspective that you're in sometimes.
Well, like, and it also speaks to like critical thinking skills as well, because I literally just opened Twitter for 2 seconds and there was an idiot who said, because like there was a fan art someone did of Punisher supports trans rights, and thought that was cool, super cool, but then they retweeted it and said Punisher is the most MAGA coded Marvel character, I'm sorry. And I'm sitting there like,
I don't know, bro.
I think Punisher is leading.
He's I was gonna say. I don't know that much about Punisher, but he don't like the cops
of the National Army. He was at guard. He was the one leading the troops into DC. I don't think you're understanding.
It's just It's so
My
annoying, bro.
God.
I don't like this lack of critical thinking skills where people twist their version of a character and want to believe some goofy ass shit. Like if you'd have said take like, oh, John Walker was MAGA coded, sure,
I can see
fine.
that.
Right, because he is kind of MAGA coded when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's the whole like, oh, I have a black friend. I'm like, yeah, but our vice president has an Indian wife. What do you mean? But there can be some disconnect out there in the streets. So I just it genuinely, I done killed Astro. It's over. But like all I'm saying is like
Dear.
use some critical thinking skills in the streets. Our Discord boosters are Ruby, me, Astro, and B-Rex, White Wolf, Jen, Kelly, Hex, Little Bird, Soft Serve, and then our one Patreon patron is Jen. We love her. We appreciate y'all. Don't
Shout
forget
out
that
to-
you can boost.
Shout
You
out
can
Discord boosters.
Yes, make sure that you can support us on Patreon. You can support us in the Discord by all means. Friggin' Kyle, you are our guest. What is your closing statement for the episode? What do you want to leave the people with?
Oh wow.
I love catching people off guard with this. It's so much fun.
Enjoy what you read.
I dig
How
that.
would you encourage people to enjoy what they're currently reading? How to find what they want to read?
Whatever resonate with you, and if you're sitting there and like you're reading the first page and you get like, I want to say like a dopamine hit of just that plot, pick it up. There's something that's drawing you to that particular comic book. So why not sit here and just feed yourself into it? Then guess what? Now you lead into the next comic book, the next trade paperback, about now on what was it? Omnibus, now Epic Collection, DC Finest, because it's just
Sure.
a beautiful thing. Because like I said, the lore's never ending.
All right. B, what you want to leave these people with?
For this week,
B's
it would
muted.
be stay
No,
positive. Okay, I'm back. Good. Stay positive. Stay lovely.
so goofy.
Everything that you read is meant to be ingested and digested in particular ways, and so you don't have to go out there and pick everything up this week. Find one comic book, enjoy that one comic book, and just enjoy what you can get your hands on instead of fear of missing out.
All right. Astro, what you want to leave these people with?
I really do like B's message, and B's dog message. The choose one kind of comic book, especially if you are an individual that has been really overwhelmed by the conversation happening in these comic book spaces. I do like the advice of like, okay, look at this very long list of what's releasing on Wednesday and choose one, whether it's something that you've already been picking up or whether it's something that you haven't even started yet, and kind of dive your focus in on that, because it's one of those things, especially if it is a product of the big two, you might have some rabbit holes to dive down before you even comfortably sit with that one comic that you're pulling. So, like Kyle says, the lore never ends, and maybe give yourself a brain break of just figuring out one character's lore.
Most definitely. For me, I want to open up the thought process of critical thinking, because some people can be definitely be really messed up with how they approach things. And it gets to the point where people be bullying people. And I kind of had a rude awakening this past weekend over on Twitter, because there was somebody who posted a Mount Rushmore of the top black comic book superheroes of all time, and they put Black Panther, Luke Cage, Storm, and Blade. And I was like, hold up, let me put mine up. I had Black Panther, Black Lightning, Static, and Miles Morales. And I got a bunch of pushback because I didn't put Storm on it. I even put in the replies, in the reposts, I was like, look, Storm is number 5. She's in the top 5. I've always said that. She is the the greatest female comic book character at Marvel. I've always said that for a long time. But then I kept getting people saying oh, you're a misogynist, oh, this, that, and the third, and it was never wanting to hear what I'm saying, that, oh no, I love Storm. I still think the impact that these certain characters like Black Lightning being the first black superhero to get his own ongoing at DC, Static being the precipice of a fully founded black comic book company, Miles' success. People didn't want to hear what I was trying to say. They just saw the exclusion of a woman and thought it was a problem. And I'm driving to Costco earlier. I'm sitting there with my roommate, and she kind of like put it into perspective for me, where she was kind of like, yo, it's like, you make a really good point with what you're saying. Like, the impact of what those four did are really important, but at base level, it just looks like that storm wasn't good enough to be up there. And it kind of hit me like a freight train, because rather than hearing what I was saying, people were just slapping the misogynist label on it. Because I had all the greatest intentions of the world, but sometimes maybe like having a conversation with people and like actually sitting down and like letting them get their piece out, but also entering with the best of intentions and giving a counterpoint makes a lot of sense. Because I ended up kind of being like, you know what, screw it, I'll take Jefferson off, put Storm up there, and be done with it. Now, anyone saying that Luke deserves to be up there over than Virgil, y'all can like get out of my face. I don't care. But
He
like,
said that's a different conversation.
yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But like, I'm willing to admit that just because I feel like these impacts are very grand and very much mean a lot, I'm also willing to admit that it comes off exclusionary.
At the end of the day, that was a lot of people and little girls' first experience seeing a black woman on their page.
Most definitely.
So
it's not like you threw shade or anything.
Right. It was never out of shade, but people took it as shade. People took it as shade and were like, nah, you're trash, you're misogynist. And it really bothered me at my core. It really bothered me, made me feel like, and I kind of realized to myself too while I was at Costco, I'm like, this is kind of how a lot of these like weird ass grifter white dudes end up on alt-right comic Twitter, because they dropped one take and it was received wrong, and they didn't listen to the critique or the people actually wanting to like give them a critique.
And they just heard it as noise, and they were like, well,
and it's one of those things where
you gotta learn and listen.
And people like that just be so weird, because I literally just saw a clip of some dude, I think he was on YouTube, saying like the Wolverine game that's supposed to be coming out, it's feminist. And then
we talked about that shit. I was mad as fuck. We talked about that shit. They're like, oh, Mystique looks like a trans woman and it's gross. And I'm like, what the fuck is this nonsense, bro?
First of all, what are you saying? Do you even know the words that you're saying?
Right.
Do you know the complaints you're complaining about?
It's just one of those things where like it rocked me to my core and made me sit back and try to want to understand, because like especially if it had been like, yo, let's have a conversation of the exclusionary portion, I'd have been like, you make a good point. But it was the fact that people were just like dismissive, and it bothered me. I'm like, all right, let me actually sit down. And like, it was even to the point that like one of my favorite like creators task on Twitter, he even retweeted it, said I was a misogynist. I replied like, I was like, bro, I've been looking at your shit for years. I've looked up to you for years as a fellow black creator. And then he went, my bad, gang, let me delete this and follow you, I'm sorry. And I was like, yo. So it's one of them things of like,
social media is very quick.
I look at it like this: if you know within your heart that you didn't mean it that way, then I could care less about how other people perceive it.
Right. It's one of them things of like, I really
but I
needed
also
to like
appreciate
to highlight
as a creator thinking about it and like even understanding where people are coming from, because it even is one of those conversations of like, a lot of men most of the time will be in the situation where they do feel slighted for people not agreeing with them and being called certain names and things that they kind of like. It's the identity theory. They just kind of take on what is being told to them instead of kind of having the difficult internal conversation of like, okay, did I say something fucked up, or like, is it just not being received well, or is this just not the place and explanation to have this? Was this never even going to work out?
Right, because
so
especially
one of those
like,
things that's like
yeah, it's like, especially one of them things where it's like, especially when people were trying to like bring like Luke and Blade in, like he was like, Blade's my favorite superhero of all time. Like it's one of them things where like I can straight up say like Blade is the GOAT. Like if I actually had a comic poster for Blade, it'd be up there. But it's one of the things of like, I can sit there and argue that point of like, no, for me, Blade's up there, but T'Challa, Static, Miles, they've had more success. Is Blade groundbreaking? Is he in the top 10 for sure? If you want to try to put Luke Cage up there, go have a conversation with Miles, with Marvel about the fact that Luke Cage ain't had a book in years, and then come holla at me. But like, genuinely, like, I'm one of the only people picking up. But it's like I'm one of the
Shots
only people
getting
in my
fired.
in my comic shop actually. Honestly, though, like I'm one of the only people at my comic shop picking up Storm. I'm not saying Storm ain't the shit. I just thought there was a bigger point to be made, but then I had to sit back and be like, all right. And I feel like if more people were willing to sit back and actually have conversations, less of alt-right comic Twitter would exist. Less of alt-right comic
Bite their
YouTube would
tongue
exist.
a little bit, understand the
Yes.
zeitgeist. We can all learn a
Yeah.
thing or
And that's-
two from JP
Yeah.
over here.
Exactly,
just
and that's
crazy.
one of the
Yeah,
premises
so
too.
like
'cause-
think critically.
Yep, because when I was
Yeah.
getting all this Stan Lee hate, I'm making sure that I'm not going in
Oh
and
my
replying to every
gosh.
single comment with like backlash at that point. Because some people are coming in at this and they do have genuine points, but there's other cases to where, like, take steps back. You got to listen to people sometimes. Everybody's going to be shouting
Mhm.
nonsense at you, and you kind of got to, siphon through all that nonsense to find the flower that's actually blooming underneath everything.
Right. It's
Mix
one
some
of those things where
metaphors there, but
it's
yeah.
kind of insane sometimes. Yeah,
Period.
it's just
I think that's a
at
beautiful
the,
note to end on, that B-Rax metaphor.
right. It's just make sure y'all be doing better. But we will be back next week with episode 14, folks. Make sure that you join the Discord, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and all those great places. We actually broke 100 followers on Instagram, so thank y'all for coming through and supporting us for that. Make sure you check us out on Twitter and Blue Sky. I want to get those numbers up a little bit. Make sure you come through. But we will catch y'all next time. Peace out.